Hi, welcome back. Shout out to the YouTube and Spotify audience. Yeah, sorry about last time. In the middle of filming, my camera ran out of storage and that was kind of lame. But luckily for me, I suppose, I have two cameras right now. So I was able to salvage some of that footage. So thank you for bearing with me as we are all learning and growing together through our technical difficulties. Have you ever felt like your life is just extremely chaotic and you feel exhausted all the time and all you can merely do is hope to survive? I know I've been there. I know I've felt that. I'm sure a few of you guys have as well. I wanted to kind of chat about what it looks like to reconnect with yourself and hopefully get over the hump when you're feeling that way. Something that I have expressed time and time again, and it is still true and forever will be true, is that gratitude is one of the most powerful tools in our tool belt. Gratitude shifts our focus. It makes it so much harder to hate everything about your life or yourself when you're coming from a place of gratitude. If you can only find one thing that you're grateful for, but you build everything from that platform of gratitude off of that one thing, I promise your outlook on life and things will get better. Gratitude is a mindset that takes time and discipline to achieve, but once it is achieved, it changes absolutely everything. When I feel like I'm not in control of all these things around me, or I feel exhausted, I feel overworked, I feel all of these different things, the first thing I have to do is pause and evaluate, what am I grateful for? What are the things that are within my control right now? What are the consistencies that I can lean on and be grateful for and really push my energy into those things? Because if I'm pushing my energy into positivity, that's what I will reap. If I'm pushing my energy into the opposite, again, that's what I will reap. What seeds am I planting in the garden of my heart, in the garden of my life? It's funny how, me first, obviously, we get surprised when the fruit that we reap from the things that we've planted is negative, when the seed was negative from the start. It's so funny how we act surprised when all I'm speaking over myself is self-deprecation, and the fruit of that that's yielded is merely me not being content with who I am. I don't know why we expect there to be something different from what we're planting, but if we can begin to pause and recognize what I'm saying, what I'm doing, all of these things are planting seeds for the future. What fruit do I want to yield? If I have the intention of harvesting positive fruit, and that's the seed that I plant, that's what I will yield. But oftentimes we plant a bunch of negative seeds and expect it to yield positive fruit. And I think that it's a mindset that maybe we subconsciously have an understanding of, but I wanted to bring it to light because it just was like an aha moment for me. If I'm planting negativity, I'm reaping negativity. If I'm planting the opposite, I'm reaping the opposite. It's such a simple thing, but for some reason it's so hard to wrap our heads around. When it comes to gratitude, it helps us to plant the correct seeds that we might reap them later. So I would encourage you to take time. If you are feeling chaotic, if you're feeling exhausted, if you're feeling like everything's crashing down around you, just to pause and find something that you can stand on and have gratitude for. And begin to dig yourself out of that hole of feeling all those ways from the platform of gratitude. I think it's also important beyond having gratitude for things for ourselves and things in our own lives to have gratitude for those people around us. and to express gratitude to people around us. For example, Jonas and I have an agreement. If I pay for water from the water store, he will go and fill our water dispenser as it needs to be filled. That's an expectation that's been communicated, and it's a very clear, cut and dry thing. Yet, every single time, 99% of the time, when Jonas comes back and fills the water, even though I was the one who had paid for it and it was our agreement, I make sure to thank him for doing that. I'm showing him my gratitude in that situation. It's a small thing, but I think that oftentimes if we allow the small things just to slip past us, it gives room for resentment and for disconnection between us and other people. Someone opens the door for me, I'm going to thank them. It's the small things and recognizing and planting those seeds of gratitude. So now if I flip that to myself, okay, I've been struggling with, getting to work on time lately. This week I'm going to focus on getting to work on time, setting my alarm, all these different things. When I do make those accomplishments and I do make it on time, then I'm going to recognize that. And I'm going to have gratitude towards myself for setting a goal and accomplishing a goal. It's the small things that lead into the big things. And I think that oftentimes we want to step over the small things in order to do the things that have more grandeur behind them. But the small things like snowball into the big things. And it's important not to overstep something that's right in front of you, something that's right in your hands, in order to get to something else, because there's lessons and there's points of growth in the small things that if we skip this step, we will not fully be able to reap the benefits of the bigger things. So there's your explanation of gratitude when it comes to reconnecting with yourself. Another way that I think is important when it comes to reconnecting with yourself is some form of expression, whether it be writing, whether it be painting, drawing, coloring, whatever it is. Having some form of physical, creative expression can help you to get back in touch with yourself. The point is not to paint the Mona Lisa, which I don't even know if it's that cool. I know it's very highly regarded, but that's beside the point. The point is not to create some masterpiece. The point is to break the routine, break the cycle that you've been in, and spend time with yourself doing something that's different to get in touch with yourself. When I feel like things are wild, I will paint, and I'm not a painter, and no one will ever see my paintings. I oftentimes just throw them away when I'm done because they're not great. But I need that time of just painting, feeling the brush against the canvas, choosing colors, creating a scene, creating whatever it is that I'm going to paint, just to be in touch with myself and just to not do the same old thing. Because previously the routine would be come home, watch TV or edit a video and do all these different things that, seem like they're being productive, some of them. But I'm not actually staying in touch with myself. I'm just doing busy work to not think about things. So in that time of expression, I am not only, getting my hands to use, but I'm turning my brain on. And I'm asking myself questions while I'm painting. I'm focusing on how I'm feeling. I'm focusing on my breathing. I'm focusing on all these different things so that I can get back in touch. It's almost like a little bit of a reset button. And I would encourage you, if you're feeling any of the ways that I described, figure out what your medium is. Draw. If you can draw stick figures, draw stick figures. Draw the coolest stick figures ever and start to ask yourself, why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling as I'm drawing a stick figure? Why am I tired all the time? And there's just something about, saying things out loud, physically doing things, hearing, stimulating as many senses as possible that really helps us to get back in touch with us. You are the most important relationship that you have. Set aside time to do this. If you're really going through a bunch of things, make it a priority. For me, the frequency has shifted to where I'm not having to do it as much because I have other disciplines in place to check in with myself. But for a while, it was a pretty frequent occurrence until I was able to create that discipline and create the language of asking questions to myself, because it's a new thing that you're learning to do. On a surface level, we can all ask ourselves questions, but we're all different people. I can't just read an article and it's going to solve all my problems online. I can't just answer questions from an article and have all the answers. There's more depth to it. There's more nuance to it. And so this is just an opening step to get the conversation facilitated. And then we can figure out what it looks like to continue that conversation moving forward. So we've been practicing gratitude, and we've been taking the time to break our routine and express ourselves and ask ourselves good questions. That's awesome. We've done what we can do within our control, self-control. Now the next step is to start to express how you're feeling to the people around you that are in your ecosystem. You can't skip any of the other two steps before you get into this one, because oftentimes we'll skip past the time of sitting with ourselves and figuring out what's going on and just go immediately to talk to people. And they'll ask us questions and we don't have answers to them because we haven't even processed them with ourselves. It's important to do all of the things leading up into this, but it is also important to take that and bring it with other people. Tell them, hey, I've been feeling all these different ways. These are the ways that I'm trying to reconnect. What I could use from you is someone to flesh out some of the ideas with. Someone to hold me accountable to making sure that I'm staying in touch with myself. Someone to check in with me from this period of time to this period of time. It's important to communicate to the people who love and care about you that are in your ecosystem what's going on and how they can help you. But you have to take the time to understand what's going on and understand how they can help you before you can express that. Another suggestion that I would have for you is very practical, is just reconnect with your body. When you wake up, take an inventory. Okay, I just woke up. How am I feeling? Great. Is there any needs that I need to fulfill? Okay, cool, great. Let me do that. And practicing that discipline of checking in with your body and not just your mind when you wake up in the morning. Exercise. Exercise doesn't have to look like going to the gym and getting super yoked and all that. Exercise can look like going for a walk. Exercise can look like whatever it is that it looks like for you, but it is important. And there are so many studies that show, walking and just an active lifestyle in general is very helpful for our health, beyond just our body health, but our mental health. Because you're going outside, you're getting some vitamin D. If I'm just sitting at home all day and I'm doing nothing, that's probably not going to yield the best possible fruit for my life. So I think it's important to connect with your body in that way of exercising. If you like to run, run. If you like to walk, walk. If you actually do like going to the gym, then go to the gym, follow through, set up a schedule that works for you and do that. Find someone who will work out with you and do that. It's important to connect with your body as well. An overlooked thing, I think for a lot of us, me first, of course, is our diet. There'll be a lot of times when I'm feeling really moody and really tired, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have all these problems. But at the end of the day, I just got busy editing or was busy doing whatever, and I just forgot to eat. And I wasn't prioritizing my body in that moment, which is not a healthy or sustainable way of living. And I think it's really important to make sure that we're nourishing ourselves with the right things too. I can't just eat fried chicken every single day, even if it tastes delicious. I have to make sure that I'm feeding my body what it needs. I wasn't drinking water for the longest time, and I was super dehydrated all the time and didn't really realize or care to realize. And so once I began to recognize that and started this journey, which I'm still knee deep in figuring out. I started drinking so much water. And I found that I love water so much. My water bottle is so big. You can't see it right now, but my water bottle is so big. And I like to drink 1 to 2 of those guys. I think that's 64 ounces a day. Anyway, that's my little side plot. But making sure that we're taking care of our body and connecting with our body in the way of, what are my body's needs? What am I feeding it with? How am I moving it? And one of the biggest keys or tools that I have learned that's helped me so much, that I thought when someone told me was the dumbest thing, is breathing. I have this app on my phone that certain times of day tells me to breathe. And I'm like, at first I was like, this is dumb. I breathe all day. Breathing right now. You're breathing right now. But the point of it was to stop. Take in a deep breath, release. Take in a deep breath, release. Be mindful, check in with myself, how I was feeling, and determine if that feeling was how I wanted to feel moving forward. Because there'll be times at work where my day just starts off super bad. I'll be running late, miss my exit. This will happen. I'll spill this. And I'm only like 30 minutes into a shift. And I haven't even helped anybody yet. And it just feels like I'm fighting an upward battle. So what I'll do is I'll walk into the bathroom, look in the mirror, and do my breathing exercise. How am I feeling? When did I start feeling this way? Okay, is this how I want to feel, or the emotion that I want to lean into for the rest of the day? No. Okay, what emotion do I want to lean into for the rest of the day? Okay, cool. So I'm going to set my sights on that, and I'm going to allow myself to gradually get to where I'm intending to be. I can't just push down how I'm feeling. If I'm having a bad day, I'm having a bad day. But because I'm having a bad day doesn't mean my entire day has to be shot 30 minutes into being conscious. I can feel what I need to feel, but I can also choose where I want to put my focus into. And by doing that, that has helped me so much. I feel like I have less bad days as I put that into practice. And in that, I'll just take the time to breathe. There's probably scientific evidence of, oxygen going to my brain and helping me to have clarity of mind and all these different things. I'm sure there is. But it just feels like when I just take that time out and take a breath, and I'm able to take action in a more appropriate way rather than just from a place of a deficiency. So gratitude, creative expression, sharing with your ecosystem, and staying in touch with your body. Those are really good keys when it comes to reconnecting with yourself or staying connected to yourself. All the things that I shared are merely the key to the door that you still have to walk through. The other side of it is determined by you. These are just starters. These are just appetizers. There is so much nuance to every single individual alive. So these things are good catalysts that'll start off that process, but you can determine what it looks like. If you start running to, your exercise and you're like, I hate running so much, but everyone says running's healthy for me. And you decide, I'm going to go on walks instead. Or I'm going to get a treadmill and stay inside. Okay, cool. That's something that you've determined. Like, nothing is set in stone. You get to determine what this is. All my hope is just to give you some keys to open the door and be a catalyst for your journey for yourself. Because my journey has developed in a way that's going to be different than your journey's developed. And I think that's why it is really important to express your journey with the people around you, because there is overlap. Some breakthroughs that you've gained are going to help the people around you and vice versa. So I think that's why it's so important to share what's going on with your ecosystem, share your process, share your progress, share what has worked and what has not worked for you. So if you did make it to the end of the video, I appreciate you. Every gold star in the world is absolutely yours. I'd love to hear from you in the comment section. When do you begin to recognize there's a disconnect? How do you reconnect with yourself when you feel that way? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. And until next time.